Milwaukee Brewers lost game 1. They come back 5-3 to win game 2 and force a game 3. Jackson Chourio hits 2 home runs. He gets Sean Manaea in the first inning. He was leading off, so leadoff homer there. He comes around. He gets an 8th inning homer off of reliever Phil Maton. Garrett Mitchell also hits a home run off of him in that inning. That was a big 3-run inning that gave Milwaukee the lead and gave them the win. If you are New York, are you concerned that we may see the first ever 3-game series won by a team that lost game 1?
Yes. And if I'm also New York, I'm intentionally walking Jackson Chourio the rest of the game in game 3.
to open game 3, walk
regardless of the situation. Yep, I am. Stop the count, by the way. 1750 OPS in his career postseason for Jackson Chourio right now.
It's
insane.
2 games. That sample size is not. We can't use that. We can't
stop
use
the count. That's what I said. Stop the count.
Yeah.
No, but 2 home runs, 3 RBIs. He's been incredible. It's I was listening to the Braves radio when I was driving home yesterday, and this game went final, and the Braves announcer said, "This kid is too young to worry about the spotlight or to worry about the momentum or the stress or anything about the postseason." And it's starting to show that way. Only 20 years old, and he's making sure that it's not bothering him at all. The bright lights of the postseason is not bothering Jackson Chourio. He's looking really good. And what a rookie class we have, period. Jackson Chourio right now, you're talking about how great he's in the postseason. He's probably going to finish 4th in the National League Rookie of the Year. It's crazy to think of
the rookie class. Jackson Chourio, Jackson Merrill, Paul Skeens in this rookie class. Yeah. Colton Cowser, Austin Wells for the Yankees. Like, some of these guys are obviously not in the postseason or eliminated from the postseason, but still great rookie class this year. And one we're going to go back and look at in a couple of years and be like, that was one of the better ones that we've seen in recent history. Just, not only have they been good, they've been impactful. Yep. Jackson Merrill, I want to say had multiple extra base hits and some great diving catches in center field against Atlanta. Chourio hitting multiple home runs here in this game, including, getting part of the comeback in the 8th inning. Fantastic class. The finale today, Jose Quintana versus Tobias Myers. Myers 3-1 with a 3.38 ERA in his last 7 games. Compare him to a guy like Quintana, who is one of their better starters. Postseason, he hasn't done much, but his last 7 games, he's 4-2 with a 2.18 ERA. I don't really know who to think is going to win this. I don't really know who to favor in this. It just feels like this is going to be another really good, really close game, right?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think it's going to be a great game. I'm leaning towards the Milwaukee Brewers, though. I'm going to lean towards Pat Murphy. I'm going to lean towards that Milwaukee bullpen. They had a tough game 1. I think they bounced back nicely. They bounced it back pretty decent yesterday, too. And late inning heroics. If I had to pick who right now, Pete Alonso's not looking very good in this postseason. Francisco Lindor obviously is doing his thing. Don't get me wrong. But I'm going with the young core here. It worked for Detroit. I think it's going to work for Milwaukee as well. I'm going to ride the hot hand, and I'm going with the Milwaukee Brewers to win this one.
Pete Alonso goes 1 for 4 yesterday, and they pick up 8 hits, only score 3 runs. I believe every single one of their hits were singles, not a single extra base hit against the Brewers, and 6 different pitchers. Not a single extra base hit. They score 3 runs off of Frankie Montas, but only one of them is earned on 6 hits and 1 walk and 3 2/3. I do feel like there's something about this Milwaukee team. And I think it's the same kind of, it's not the same thing that we attribute to the Tigers, because the Tigers have that youthful energy. The Tigers are like, you can notice when you're watching Detroit that team is just hot right now. And the Milwaukee's hot, don't get me wrong, but it feels like this Milwaukee team is just confident. That they just are quietly confident, that they know what they're doing. They're not fazed by the prospect of being behind, having to rally. They've got a lot of postseason experience just based like over the last couple years of winning the division. Although some of these guys are still really relatively new to the postseason. Joey Ortiz, Churio, obviously. It just feels like they are comfortable in these situations and nothing really rattles them. And so it's hard for me to pick against them in game 3. I do think that the Mets probably have a little bit of an advantage in the pitching matchup, but it's hard for me to count out the Milwaukee Brewers because all we've done all year is count out the Milwaukee Brewers. We did it before the season started. We did it during the season. And all that they did is just win the division like they always do.
Yep.
Get in, start making noise in the postseason just like they always do, despite more subtractions here than any recent season. And so, yeah, it's hard for me to say that the Mets are going to do this simply because it feels like this is the Brewers' game to take.
And the prophecy can still be answered, Lindsay. Rhys Hoskins 0 for 7 so far in this postseason. He's just asking to put the Mets to bed in game 3.
If he gets one big hit in game 3, puts the Mets away, nobody will care about the other swings and misses or flyouts or whatever. And he'll get to go on Saturday at 4:08 p.m. and take on the Philadelphia Phillies in Citizens Bank Park. This stuff writes itself, people.
Yeah, we share the script.
This is the way you'd have scripted this up if you were in Hollywood. So